What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I am Shakira. I am over here just jamming out some old school Jamaican music. Oh my goodness, I forgot to go get something. I'ma just get started to a lot of his mercies. Let him go. Ningy ningy in the ears and their nose of I gears you I gears. Yo, I'm jamming for real. Alright. So, plan for today, we're going to go through the trades I took this week, which equates to one, and an attempt for a second one, which I didn't get tagged into. My limit order didn't get tripped, so boo. And maybe a little bit of a straight up talk about. Let me stop jamming. Yo, Wolfie! What up, man? What up? How you doing? I thought you were hanging out with the fam, man. Go have some din din, some family time. Enjoy that, man. That's what's up. That is what's up. Anyway, let me get tiny. Just to give you one line from. Thanks, Wolfie. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know you're always one of my likes when I do these things. But make sure and have a good time with the family for sure. It's so cold here. I am not a fan. I am not a fan. All right, let's talk about the trades I took. And let's talk about how I've been punked a lot this week by the markets and how that made me feel. And then I want to do some, of course, back testing in Thinkorswim. And then I'm going to try and refine my concept of an order block actually, and the appropriate one to trade against. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this screen its own thing. Okay, so fun fact. Super duper punked, right? So Friday evening, I was like, okay, um, this would be nice, right? As a continuation. What time was this? 1:17. They swept the lows after they dropped a whole bunch, swept the lows, then this they swept up, right? First shift, then they dropped below here, second shift. So I wanted an entry here. They didn't come back down. Okay, that's fine. So now I'm looking for a secondary potential entry after two, and it was just kind of this slow grind up. Now, I'm watching to see if they're going to hang out in this fair value gap right here, which they did, and maybe continue to drop. So I was literally at that point waiting to see if we would get an opportunity for a short. And so just about 3:30-ish or so, I closed my charts and I didn't bother to look. And then look what happened right after. I was like, are you serious right now? So we had a nice shift below here and a nice potential short right here for a lot. Now, if I'd waited for a secondary shift after this, well, actually, so, you know, I would have gotten in because it gave me that pop back up right here, but I never actually got in. I was logged out for the day at that point. So the trade I kind of did force is, when we dropped here, we were running up. I was looking for them to come up and take some more of these highs. And I kind of waited for them to come to this fair value gap right here. And I saw what I wanted, technically, like they were respecting it and left a fair value gap here. So I was expecting them to come back, tap it, and then run up. So as we can see, they did come back. They did tap it. They gave me a tiny, tiny little push here, and then they dropped. So that's my one trade for the week that actually got tagged in. Which, if I'm being honest, what a pain, man. What a pain. All right. And then the trade, what was this? This trade in the morning, I was like, you know what? Let me try and see what's up with pre-market. And it was kind of anemic. It was kind of anemic. So I was waiting, waiting, waiting. waiting, no joke, waiting. And then I saw this, it's like, sweet, we got a nice shift up, strong, up close candles, fair value gap. They tapped into it and then ran up one more time. So another breaker structure. So we had the first shift here and then another breaker structure here. And then I went just before 7 o'clock, right around here. I was like, "Ugh, I need to go get some breakfast, take care of the kitties. And then I came back and I was like, you mother trucker. Because like also the perfect like continuation setup formed right as soon as I was gone, of course. Beautiful right here with my 37 tick stop on the 1 mini and 210. Nice, nice setup. But it didn't it wasn't to be on Friday for me. So I was obviously just getting punked. But that's okay. So I ended the month of October down 930. It was a very red month for me. I didn't take many trades as it was, but it was a red month for me, so that kind of sucked. Anyway, it's starting to feel a bit depressed about the whole thing too, which is not weird, you know. Um, Especially if you're in a consistent losing streak. Even if I wasn't trading that much, still, losing 930 in a month is nothing. Technically, that's like one trade for what I'm normally looking for. So it's okay. All right. So that's literally it. I think the day before I had another setup that was actually clean. It was clean, it was beautiful, and I did not get tagged in. Like I waited for it. It gave me a very clear, clean space, even though it would have taken a little while for my entry. And this was another opportunity here, but my stop could not have taken that. It could not have. And I watched this video earlier where, they said like if you have like a down after some liquidity's been taken, you've got your order block set up, they drop, leave your fair value gap, and then form like these little mini things below the fair value gap. You want to wait for them to come take it out and then, drop for a potential entry. So that did happen in this case, but my stop is so weak. Um, that I didn't take it because of that. Now, where was that super duper clean setup I saw on the PM? And they just didn't tag me in. They never came to my entry. Let me look at my journal because it's the only way I'm gonna stay on top of this stuff some days, you know. Okay. Right. So the order that I set was on the 29th, so it's Wednesday. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And I should have moved my setup, my entry down. So let's snip over. And that was in the morning. That was like the cleanest setup I've seen so far in the mornings. So let's roll over to Wednesday in the morning. Let's see here. Here we go. Literally waiting for this setup. Like we had liquidity taken to the left here. They swept it out. This is the pattern I'm always looking for. Like sweep of liquidity, shift in structure, return back up, and then secondary shift. Now, if I were to clean this up just a smidge, just to show you where the sections actually played out for me. So for this, it sort of worked out like that, right? Like they swept this, shifted back up, whatever. It's not pretty, but you get the idea. Then they came back up for an entry right here, and that's where I wanted to get in. Let me see. Let's move that back to where it was because that's just ugly now. There we go. So that's the basic structure I was looking for. And it did something similar. Like We dropped, we had the order blocks, it left fair value gaps. They hung out in the base fair value gap, tapped the second one a little bit, and then dropped. Took this out. Lovely. I was like, perfect. And I set my order right here. And they just tapped the bottom of the fair value gap. Now, what I should have done was put my entry at the bottom of the the fair value gap. And then I would have been tagged in, and then it would have been an easy, I would have had to wait for a while, but it would have been an easy, set my stop above here or right here, and then let it just run. There are lows below here. Could have run for to get a little bit extra or even lower like that, because we definitely got that. But that's the general gist of what I was looking for. I think the trade I took on Friday was a bit of a forced, because I just hadn't taken any trades that day at all. Kind of sucked. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to remove all the drawings off of here, and I'm going to roll into the daily candles. So Friday was an inside candle. I'm not a huge fan of those because they keep going up and down in the same range, and that kind of sucks, you know? But anyway, let's roll to Monday, and I want to see. Well, I'm gonna skip Mondays because I don't generally trade on Mondays, so I'm going to maybe I should skip over to the Thinkorswim side. I don't know, and then do this on there since that's kind of where I need to really focus. So let's swap. Let's swap windows real quick. All right. Let's swap to Thinkorswim, and then let's take a look at, so as always, I'm using the on-demand feature on Thinkorswim, which lets me play out any particular day of the month and set orders and all that jazz. So October was kind of a rough month for me, so last day we were messing around with was the 8th. So let's nip over to the 13th, and let's set it to let's say 950, because I really don't take trades before then anyway. So let's be realistic about it. Okay, let's go. All right, I'm also, trying to be more particular. Whoa, okay. And I'm gonna move this over for a second, and I'm gonna switch this to the daily so I can see what the previous day's high and lows were in this. And wow, they just sort of blew through everybody's stuff, right? Oh, okay. They blew through everything. So the high and low of this is way too far away. Let's take a look at the 1 hour and see where the London session lows were. I'm pretty sure they just blew through all of that too. That's Wednesday. Yeah, that's a Monday. So, goodness, that was kind of mean, honestly, this movement. Let's look at it over here real quick. Because as always, I need to specify where the liquidity is and if we're going to do something else. So let's move to the left here on the 1 minute. Okay, so the London high is all the way up here. So let me note that. And the one thing I'm trying to remember is what I'm looking for needs to be super duper clean and simple. I don't need it to be overcomplicated. It should like literally scream at me, this is your trade, you know? That's what it should do. And if it's not screaming at me, this is your trade, then don't take it. I said I made a rule to myself that I would only take A plus setups, right? Moving forward, starting in August. And I did, and it's reduced my trading insanely, like significantly. to the point where when I was chatting with the Thinkorswim folks, they were like, "Oh, we can reduce your fees, but you have to trade a whole lot more. Like your volume is really, really low." And I'm like, "Come on." So now if I switch over to micros, I could do that. Hey, what's up, life? Happy Sunday. How's it going? How is it going? Hey, thanks. Because I can't stop. You lost 3R to BTC yesterday because I can't stop. I haven't touched a crypto trade in years, for realsies. Like, I really have not. And now I'm just like, I actually don't even own any Bitcoin. I actually sold all my Bitcoin to fund my futures trading. And I'm still quite happy I did that. I just wish it had hit $100,000 by the time I did sell it because I would have had more money to put in my account. But otherwise, it's okay. I'm sorry you ended up having that loss though, life. Was the trade setup like an A plus setup for you? Was it what you were looking for? And then BTC just decided to be a douche nozzle like um NQ likes to be sometimes? 954. Because NQ, she is a diva. She is a diva. All right, so what do we have? So we have a bit of a shift here. This is October 13th, just for 10 o'clock. Let me also check to see if there's any news on this particular day. We also had daylight savings time hit, so I actually got an hour back. So I start at 9 because it's usually 10 o'clock for me, and I'm like up and ready to go. All right, what do we have? Okay, Powell was no news on the Monday. Oh, it's a bank holiday. You know what? Never tried to trade a bank holiday. Let's see. Is there a lack of, is there a lack of movement? It was good setup, but I missed high time frame. It's all good. And Q and I are getting along better now. I'll get that from her. Yeah, NQ, she does like to, she is a, she is a diva, but when you learn her and you get to understand what she does, she'll pay you, man. She'll pay you real good. Which is why I'm still with her and not ES. ES is great and everything, but the same amount of movement on ES gives nets me double on NQ. So I'd rather lose my money on NQ than lose my money on ES and make half of it. That's almost like, the concept of me needing to switch to micros, um, just to widen my stops. But the cost of a micro at Thinkorswim is the same cost as a mini. So let's say I wanted to trade 10 micros, that's $73 in fees and commissions and Thinkorswim charges. That's a lot, man. I can't, I can't, I can't. I don't know if I can do it. But, I guess in the grand scheme of things, $73 isn't that big of a deal, right? Supposedly. I don't know. A lot of people trade micros and make tons of money, and I think that's great. But I think for me, in order for me to make that money on the micros, it would be nice if I could get the fees down. But to get the fees down, I gotta trade the micros with the current fees and make, what did they say, 100 trades a month for the next 2 months, and then they can drop my fee from 225 to 210. I'm like 15 cents. But he did say that they could drop it even lower. Thank you. They did say that they could drop it even lower if I keep increasing the volume even more. So that's a potential. All right, so there's no news on this Monday. It was actually a bank holiday, so I was definitely off, I think. So I definitely didn't trade this day. The calendar for so I want to let's see, hold on, because this is looking like it just wants to run up and take this out. It doesn't really follow. So we have sweep and liquidity. I'm going to call this a shift. Then this is secondary shift. Now, if I was really paying attention, then the entry should have been right here on top, right here. And then I should feel comfortable after that taking the next break of structure, after they've like swept the internal liquidity they've created in that moment, right? So I don't know. So this should have been where, if I let this form and let that be the initial shift, we have the fair value gap, a tiny one in here. They tapped into it and then shifted one more time. This would have been the entry. So just for funsies, let's see what my stop would have looked like. Yeah, my stop's tiny. Look at that. So once we shifted up, I would have come really close to being stopped out, but I would have gotten my full 210, and I would just be aiming for the top of this thing if I was trading that day, but I was not. But that would be like the expectation. Hmm. I don't know. Switching to micros and paying that much fees on top of like my normal loss is drives me a little nuts. But maybe we should test that out today and see how we feel about it, right? Let's switch to micros for this. And let's switch to micros. There's no news. Let's do this. Because I already paid attention to the micro MQ. And let's go this way. Let's test that out. Let's see how that feels to me, because I don't know how I'd feel about using the micros for this, but let's do a little prepping here. So, because maybe I'll use it next year. I don't know. Because I don't know. It's hard to go from making $1,000 on minis for 210 takes about 55 count points, or setting like say 5 micros and getting charged $36 for fees and making 500 for the same movement, or 250 for like the base hit. You know what I'm saying? So let's create a template for this though. Let's create a template because I don't have one for micros. So let's create a template. We'll use this initial one for testing. So we want that. And then let's say my stop now becomes 74 ticks, because I can use less. I can like use like say 2 micros and then see how that works, right? So 74 ticks stop, still 210 on the micros. And um let's say that I start with like 3 micros. Let's see. And let's see what that would have looked like for that trade that we just looked at. And let's save this. Let's save this template. Save. So we're going to call this 3 MNQ. Okay, so I'm going to save that template as 3 MNQ. Okay. So let's see if we can maybe we can build back up. All right. So I'm gonna roll this back. So let's see. Let's say I were to use this 3 MNQ template. Oh, hold on. Let me set the auto because I want to get a feeling for what it feels like for setting that order. All right, so we have this fair value gap right here that we've tapped into. Let's see. Let me just set that so properly. So now we've already had a shift in structure, and I think I'm being way too stringent too with my setups. Like I should feel comfortable doing like, well, let's see where this would set me. So if I do 3 of those, my stop is a little wider. It's not super amazing. It's a little wider. Well, hold up. So if I'd set my entry here, okay, I gotta, you know what? I have to do some calculations, right? So first and foremost, like 3 micros, it would cost what exactly? Because I don't think that's like $185, which means that my stop now becomes something I can actually widen depending on how many of these, right? So I could create multiple templates that suit the micro life, right? Meaning if the candle is huge, like on those days when that big engulfing candle is insane and my one mini can't handle it, then maybe what I should be doing is switching over to trade the micros and then have multiple smaller templates for the micros. And then so like three micros would cost me $21.09 in fees on Thinkorswim, right? And then and let me do some calculations on my trading view chart real quick here just for funsies so we can see what that would really cost. And I'm just gonna switch to a micro screen on my trading view. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is an interesting concept for me because I've had a hard time being able to bring myself to trade the micros, but I keep saying that this isn't a race, right? It's not any kind of I shouldn't be like rushing to get somewhere with this, right? Like I know I'm not rushing to get somewhere with it. So why can't I just adjust what it feels like to take a trade? So let's say I'm taking a 3 trade micro. At 74 ticks, my stop is $111 for 3 micros. That's not terrible. So if I push it up, so for 185, which is what I usually, that's 120 ticks. So let's modify that, right? That bracket and take another look at it here. Let's just look at the template. So if I make this 120 ticks, that's about $180 for 3 micros. 120 ticks. Let's see what that, let's save that. Let's save the template. And let's go back in to my templates right there. So let's say 3 MNQ 120 tick stop is, I'm gonna save that, rename it. All right, good. And then let me add this back in. So let's say I do that. Like, I'm just curious now. So this candle formed at 9:47. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit just so I can see what this looks like on, I want to see what it looks like on with micros. So let's back up a bit. Hold on. So let's let that cook. Let's let that cook. And let's move this over here. Let's make that look a little better. Okay. This is a good, let's move this forward just a smidge. Okay. It's not moving. It sure isn't. Hold on, let's press play. Okay. 9:48. Hold on. I think this hasn't quite refreshed. Hold on. Come on. I think it's stuck. The seconds are moving, but the window's not. Come on, Thinkorswim, don't play games. The candles aren't moving forward. Okay, maybe we switch to the PM. Nah, I still want to see what that setup would have looked like. Come on. Okay, it's kind of broken right now, so let's switch to the PM and see if we can get it to actually do what it's supposed to do. Okay. Oof, that's ugly. Wow, okay. The AM didn't give us nothing. All right. Can we please? This is an ugly day. Then it phoned some time. I don't think there was an entry in here. It's 11:45. Zooming in too much. Mm. I don't know if I want to waste like $180 on 3 micros. That seems kind of insane. What do you guys think? You know? So this is 145. They've taken the high out. This is like an ugly day of trade. It's the 13th. Let's switch to the 14th because I wouldn't have been trading that day anyway. And maybe we can get the 9 o'clock to stop acting the fool. So let's do 9:40 so we can do a little prep. Sorry, that one felt like all over the place. Plus, I want to test out this whole micro concept. Let's do some auto zooming. Some auto zooming. Okay, so this is looking like it wants to continue dropping. Ah, we're digging into this juiciness right there. So let's set the high here, and then let's set the low down here. And I need to see if looks like they took the London lows out. So for me, I'm still inherently bullish for most of this. So there are some juicy equal highs up here for me. So I'm gonna duplicate this guy and do that and see where that lands up here. I don't need all of that, if I'm being honest, after that big run. So let's move it down to these down further down here. You don't need the whole run. You just need enough of the run, right? Like a piece of the pie, and that will make life a lot easier, I think, overall. Yeah. That's the nearest 15-minute high right there. This is the 1 hour though, but you get the vibe, right? So let's see how these micros treat me and like what that would net me. I could probably just do this faster on TradingView, if I'm being honest. This might take forever. And it's not moving again. What the heck? Guys, this is like moving at, let me try and pause. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to work. I might need to close this out and come back. Let's switch over to TradingView for now since Thinkorswim is acting up. I'm gonna have to close this. So we'll test the micros out over here, and then I'll adjust my templates on the other side. So hold on. Let me switch over since I can't do what I want comfortably on the Thinkorswim side, which is unfortunate. But that's all right. We'll figure it out. Because then I can, you know, I can adjust my my stop templates based off of all that. All right, cool, cool, cool. Let's backtrack. So we were looking doing some micros. Let's use TradingView. I honestly really am not a huge fan. Let's do this. Let's look at all the trades I wanted to take. And then maybe if I could have taken them with micros, that would be good. So let's go 15 minutes and let's look at the pre-market setup that I saw. And that was at like just before 7 o'clock. Let's see if we actually got it. This is Thursday. So we need the Friday pre-market right around here. So that it did take liquidity out here, but not here. So let me just note that so I know where I was looking at in the morning. I'm going to try to do pre-market trades moving forward. So let's go to the 1 minute. Let's snip over this way. So pre-market, 5 something. Right, so right around here. So for the micros, it did take some stuff out. Then we had the shift up and then this shift. I was waiting for something more decisive for a shift. So I'm just curious to see if I'd taken this with 3 micros and my stop can be a little bit more useful there. And then I was looking for 210 or so, wherever the next available high was. Like we had these guys right here, so low-hanging fruit objectives. Okay, so let's see what that would have netted us. Let's do a limit order for long, and let's say we're doing 3 micros. So 3 micros, below that low's 84, and 210 is 315. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that. This is ridiculous. For real. So let's say I said 74, like just double my normal stop. Oops. 74 ticks, which is, in this case, 111, 3 micros. Ugh, gross. I don't like it. So let's say we upped it by 4. Now it's 420. And we upped it by 5, which is basically my normal. And that's 525. Oh, I don't know if I can do this micro business. I know I'm supposed to be like thinking about the big picture, but trading minis this whole time, it makes it really hard to switch to micros. Anyway, uh, I'll leave the template. So for the micros, if I want to, I can do 5 micros, and that's 36 and change. $185 is 74 ticks. So what I'll do is I'll modify my template and let that be, yeah, and let that be the one I use. So 74 ticks, so then it should be 5 micros. And I'm gonna set that so that if I ever choose to do it next year. But for now, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. So let's do MNQ 5 micros, 74 tick SL. Save. Okay. And then I need to clean up some of these templates. Delete that. And let's look at the templates. So, uh, delete. Oh, good. There's a delete thingy. So delete that one. Yes. And then delete. I'll keep the three 120 tick, but I think at the minimum I'll do like 5 micros at most. So um, yeah. All right. So let's snip over to my normal and see how well this would work for me. All right, let's just go back and since uh, since Thinkorswim's not really acting good, I'm just gonna skip that for today. So let's go to replay and we're just gonna pick a random day. Let's start a new replay and we'll just grab a random day and let's start testing it. Okay. So we have Tuesday, August 26th. Let me see if there's any news on that day. I'm gonna close my Thinkorswim because it's not working the way I need it to today. Oops, sorry. The news thing is here. So let's go back to August. There's a Tuesday, and did we have news? 8:30 and then 10 o'clock. Okay. All right. So let's do the 15 minutes and then let's nip over to the AM. It's Friday, Monday. Flip over to the Tuesday. Let's flip over to the AM, 9:45 right there. So let's select the bar. That's right about there is good. Okay, so let's think about what we got. So we have some equal highs all the way up here. Let's do that. Some buy side liquidity. And then we've already taken the sell side liquidity. This is Asia lows. Asia lows. And then it took both ends of this. So let's see. For now, what do we have? I'm going to note this fair value gap right here. Let's see. Okay, so we swept this, we swept that a little bit. For this to be like a short, I would need, and we've been in a range and we've been hopping back up. So I'm more long biased based off of that. So it's 949, 950. Okay. So I want to see us respect this and run up. Let me like set my normal order just to get a feel for what these candles look like. Now, if I'm being honest, I'd prefer an entry down here to take the highs out if we can get it. Whether or not we get that, I don't know. It could be anything. But there's plenty more further up, so let's see. So it's 9:59. Let's move this up. Okay. And we wicked through this. There's a tiny fair value gap here. It's not like a perfect setup for me. I want to see. It's nice that they were respecting this, so maybe I should have considered that, but I would have, wanted, given my stop, I would have wanted the entry to be here. So we took that out one more time. And my question is, do we just continue running up? So we have this set of order blocks here. I'm hoping they create a fair value gap here. And then we're going to test out that whole system so they don't. So great. Remember, my preference is an entry further down here if we can get it, but let's see. So they tag the midpoint of this. So one thing about chop that I'm realizing, Let's zoom in real tight on this chop. So if we're chopping around and then we sweep liquidity in the chop, then this low for me now becomes somewhat protected. So something like that wouldn't be weird. I prefer if they gave me something super clear, but chop can be such a pain for real. Tiniest of things, small thing here. Now the question is, do I trust this setup? It looks bullish. We're moving up after we've rejected here, but NASDAQ, man, she's fickle as hell. Let's be honest. She is fickle as hell. So she could easily like take that and smack us down again. So if she keeps running, let's create a limit order right here. And as always, 1 micro is what I use. So let's set that. And let's see if we come back down. What? Oh, come on. Seriously? Look at that bullshit. That happens to me a lot. Can you believe it? A lot. So I guess since my stop was covering all of this candle, I should have set my entry higher up. Oh, come on. That's just mean. Okay, I need to set my order, then make sure it's covering the 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 candle I'm trying to enter on. Sigh. Okay. So what do I do? Do I move my entry up here and then hope for the best? That feels like chasing. Yeah. But let's see. It leaves a fair value gap. It's probably gonna just hang out inside of this guy and then run up. I have a hard time taking these types of trades because they're not like my norm. So let's see. So this one actually like tags me in. So if I take this trade, which is not my favorite, so my stop needs to be here. It's actually it's 180 points, something like that. There we go. So I either get stopped out or they run up now. See, this is why I don't chase. So my original entry interest was here. It's like chasing price is like, oh, I don't know, the bane of my existence, if I'm being completely honest. So I was a little salty because they came a couple ticks from where I wanted my entry. They ran up like, what, 163 points or so? 41. Oh, that's 41 points. And then turned right around. This price action isn't exactly like beautiful, but that's why I don't like taking this. But, sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not, and it's just not my setup. So here's what I originally wanted. And the question is, does that actually work out for me? If I like say waited for this, right? Because we respected all of this, we swept these guys, we ran up. Now the question is, are you going to come all the way back to this, or is this the order block you're going to hang out at? That's a good question, right? So if I'd set my entry here at this portion of the order block, but I need to be at least below the 50% of the order block. So let's see. Now the other option is if they choose to move from here, the top of this guy, and then they leave a small fair value gap in here, then I could potentially get in on that setup. But look at it. Ah, so rude. So I would have been fine had I set my entry right here for this original setup. And then it looks like they're gonna run now. Okay. NASDAQ is so weird, I swear. So they came back down to the order block here, which I probably should have noted. But any entry here would need to be above, and this is what I forget sometimes when I'm like racing to get into that setup, should be below the this order block's candle. So let's say I had done that, and then if I'd really looked and noticed it was right there, then that would have been a better setup for me. So let's let's cheat a little bit and let's go back just a smidge. So things that I tend to miss sometimes when I'm like in these setups, right? So let's set the order here. Let's set a limit order here. 1. Oh, why is this? Okay, yeah. Let's set the limit order here. So things that I didn't notice originally. 1, when we have the chop, you gotta wait for the chop to get swept before they start moving. I was originally bullish in the first place, just waiting for a reason. Now I could have also tried to take something from here. My Yeah, my stop would have been enough, and I would have been closer to my TP with like a stop loss under here, which would be good, right? So let's see. I missed this one, but I wanted an entry here. I did not get it. Next opportunities in this candle here, but I need to make sure that my stop is below this candle. So, and it happens to coincide with this guy. So let's see. See how that would feel to be in. Like that's a really nice, like original reaction, but they took this high out. Now I want to see some continuation. If we don't see that, then, oh, and let me set my stop loss right here. If we don't see that, then we're coming down, right? And then the TP for me is about 210 ticks, which is approximately about there. This doesn't look exciting, but it needs to continue back up. If we start to flounder here, I would want to, at this point, my stop loss would be right in here because actually, let me just do that. So if I'm wrong, how, no, don't do that. Either I eat the loss or I get the win. It's just that simple. So let's just continue. So I don't like the floundering. I need them to move up. Like, give me a strong up close candle like this. That's better, right? So at this point, I would move my stop to here because like on this candle, I would move my stop to just above here to cover fees like that. And then, but this, remember I said they were floundering, right? Like it doesn't look great. So looks like maybe I either get stopped out or they just, yeah. So then I just get stopped out on that scenario. You want some decisive movement, and we didn't get like a body close above here from this entry, which is what we would have liked to see. We did get a little bit movement that way, but it wasn't pretty. And what time was that? I'm not even tracking the time as I'm doing this, which is bad, I think. It's not great. Okay, so then this this also had a sweep, which is why I was interested in an entry here. So sometimes I wonder, like, am I being too particular about the setup? Like, I need to stay and wait, right? Like, should I have just sat down instead of taking those 2 other attempts and just waited for the original one I wanted? Especially with them basically being so very weak and not moving up properly. So I'm just curious now. This is just curiosity. Like, does that actually play out? Should I have just waited for my original entry? All right, so that would have tagged me in. Let's say, let's do that. This is weakness though, so they might just be dropping at this point, but I'm being stubborn for my long. Yeah. So that's what it looks like when you're being stubborn and you're expecting them to do something. Other thing I could be waiting for is for them to sweep some liquidity and then run up. Okay, so they did generate this liquidity, swept it, and then I would need some sort of like upward swing. But this price action is anemic. So let's take a look at the higher time frame. And Still bullish. I'm still bullish on the day, but the setup, the entries are just not great. Also, I'm going to note this fair value gap right here, bearish. This bearish fair value gap that they ran through but didn't give us anything. So it's about 12 o'clock. I wouldn't have been trading during this time. My entries would have been up in this space, and this wick right here would not work for me. All right, this is, what is this? This is 11:30. Let's move to the PM. Because look at that. I mean, so this was all kind of fishy. They finally gave us a clear view here, sort of. So this order block at the base of that fair value gap. And I would have been okay for our base hit. Let's see, would they have given us something? So that's what I'm trying to remind myself. Wait for the easy, obvious setups. Easy, obvious setups. Wait for those. Because I've not been waiting for them, and I've been getting tired and frustrated. Let's see. Well, that would have almost stopped me out, but this is like 130 and 110. I'm just curious. Like we'd have to leave this fair value gap with some alacrity. But no, that would not have worked out. And I don't like this FEG now because it's been used up. All right, so what happened? They swept this, then they did a mini shift here. I actually would have preferred this as the shift. So if I'm following my normal process, we ran up, we shifted down here, and then we came back up, and then we dropped. I need a secondary entry right here for a continuation. So with if I were to be short biased, then I would have been following my normal setup. I would have been looking for something like this, or maybe down to this fair value gap since they've been tapping that. So let's see if that actually works out for us. Let's set there's a fair value gap here, which is nice. So limit order, let's sell one, and let's see how that works out for us. If we're following the normal, so I'll set my stop loss here, and we'll set the TP down here. All right, especially since we've been struggling to go up. So looking pretty juicy. So my stop at this point would be right about break even right there. And then I would just be waiting to see if we continue to I'd like an internal high to be formed, if I'm being honest with you here. So this just goes to show, like, you just have to trade your setup. So at this point, I'm about ready to lock in some stuff right here. So we're close to TP, so I'm trying not to, and then bam, look at that. Isn't that stupid? Like, this is what I wait for all the time. Sweep of liquidity, shift in structure, return up, sweep, set an entry at the order block, and that's it. What? This happened at lunchtime though, which is really annoying because I'm eating at lunchtime. Ugh. Anyway, let's go to the next day. Okay, let's move forward a day. That's Wednesday. So I want to try out the pre-market time frame. because I'm gonna try to trade earlier in the morning if I can. So between 5:30 and 8 o'clock. So I would be adjusting. That's Tuesday, so we'll be looking at Wednesday. Where's the Wednesday? Oh, hold on. Let's go to the daily. Let's move forward. Come on, move forward. Okay, let's move forward another day. Good. 15 minutes. And then let's switch to the pre-market a little bit. So about 5:30 to 7. So like right about there. Let's reset. All right. So where's the London lows? So, oh, Asia highs are up here. So let's note that. And that's some buy side up there. And then looks like they already took the London lows out. So I'm going to go for the next available 15 minutes low as a potential target. All right, so let's drop to the 1 minute and let's see what we get. So this is 521. All right, so technically we've run some liquidity. So let me just mark out what I'm looking for. So we've run some liquidity, we came down, we shifted above it. I'm looking for a retracement, then a shift up, then a return back down, and then a run up to the buy side up there. That's what I'm looking for. Let's keep it simple, stupid. Let's do that, okay? And let's prep our long. So this is pre-market. It feels very thin, pre-market does to me. So, all right, let's see if we get that structure to work with. Just gotta wait. These are 1 minute candles. Goodness. This is an ugly day. So we kind of have a little thing. I prefer if it took this low out and we just ran up again. So technically, we've had this, and there's this small retracement here, and then we took the high out again. So my stop is pretty healthy for this time frame. So let's see, is that the setup I need to be using? Because we did shift above again, and we did come back down, but it's very, very weak. So let's see, is this the correct? So something I should have noted. Silly me, my entry was supposed to be here. Oh God, sometimes I just don't notice. All right, hold up. Let's back up a bit. Silly me, because my stop can handle this thing, right? So let's go. Oops. Did it again. Hold on, hold on. Let's set the limit order. Whoops. Because technically these are the order blocks, not that one. And this is what I just did not notice. All right. One thing. Okay. Let's see. So we get tagged in. So let me set my stop to where it is. Either I'm right and we move up from here, or I'm wrong. So that high is only going to net me about 655. That's fine. So let's see. So we need to keep moving, but it's pre-market, right? This is kind of weak price action, if you're asking me. Look at this. Slow grind up. Goodness. This is thin. So this point, I'm moving my stop because it's about halfway to my TP. So I'm moving my stop up to cover my fees on this trade. So either I get stopped out or it runs up for that high. It doesn't, okay. So we generated liquidity here and then swept it. So I'm kind of willing, no, let's leave it. We're not actually getting a ton out of that, but seriously? Wow, NQ, that was just mean. But it would not have been a loss. What did they do? They took that out and then just dropped. Man, this is pre-market. It's so thin though, but she's a diva, man. So when did she do that? And the entry that I got was at like six something. But it did meet the criteria. We swept liquidity, we shifted up. I mean, if we were to draw this again, it was weak, but it still was there. It shifted up and then we dropped and then we shifted above that again. And then we came back down and now I was expecting a continuation run up to here, you know? We didn't get that, but it's not pretty, but it is the setup. And, we got like more than halfway. I probably should have set my stop under here, take a little bit more, but it's not terrible. All right, so that was what would have happened during that pre-market, because by this point I'm like logged into work and trying to get stuff done. So let's see what the daytime activity is for normal trading there. So by 8:30 it drops. So this is 9:15, 9:30. Okay. So obviously we're taking that out. Lovely jubbly. And that's 9:30. Let's go 9:45 because I'm waiting, right? And let's clone that because there's more lows down here on the 15 minutes for it to run to if it really wants to do that. But I want to see weakness in this general space. So again, and I keep drawing this out because I need to remember to remind myself that's what I'm looking for. So that we shifted above this. I'm looking for retracement, back up, an entry there, and go. And what I'm aiming for is still the same. So we did that. They've created liquidity, shifted above it. I'm going to note this fair value gap right here because we've used it as support a little bit. So we shifted. There's a fair value gap here. They've tapped into order blocks here. So I want to know, is my stop, let's see, can my stop withstand all of this? So let's see. Now, there could also just be a continuation down to take that out. But the distance, given the way I trade, is not enough. Okay. So my preference as a shift is for all of this, but we did make a higher low here and then shifted up and then dropped. So it'd be nice if they took a little bit of this out and then ran up. Oh. Okay, so now we have like a secondary shift. I'm gonna move this out the way. That's kind of ugly. So we've run up. Dude, we have a tiny fair value gap right in here. So I'm gonna delete this because we know that's there. And that's not quite, that's not an order block. I like when the two candles in between are, this wick should be low higher up to give it some more credence. So we do have a little something something there. What time is this? 10:10, okay? So need something a little cleaner. This is cleaner. So let's see, can my stop withstand that? Okay, let's see if we get an opportunity to get taken into that. And what is around us, So I'm looking for them to go for that. And this entry wouldn't be terrible. So let's see if we get that. It's gonna be one of those days just run away and don't give us nothing. the order is gonna stay there until they actually take the high out because they could drop back down and give me something, but so that's another thing that's annoying. So shift here, secondary shift. I mean, should I have been like, well, YOLO here? I just don't do YOLO, y'all. I don't. I can't. It's not my thing. I can't get into it. Now we've sort of like it's after 10 o'clock and they were using this fair value gap as like fuel to run up. Let's see. Some things that I'm not really great at is making adjustments on the fly when my setup doesn't like play out, you know? So a pullback would be good. All right, we get one. They hang out at the midpoint. So my question is, do we come all the way back down? The reaction at the midpoint does make it feel like we're going to continue up, but it's so close to my TP, there's no point. I won't get enough off of the trade, I don't think. So we'll just let that one go or wait because we're flagging here. So it looks like it wants to come back down. So we haven't hit where we wanted to. So do we get, well, do we get an opportunity? They wicked through that. So they created liquidity, then swept it. But still respecting the midpoint of this. So I'm going to do this and see if we get something. Nope. Just going to take it. Okay. Because even if I'd done that, I would have been stopped out with that candle. But I like that they wicked it out. What time was that? 11:40. So this was just a lame ass freaking day. Let's go to the 1 hour and switch to the PM. And switch to the PM. Let's go to 2 o'clock. That's 12. And that's 1. And then 2. Okay, so let's go to 2 o'clock. They've taken the liquidity. And I personally would love, love, love if we got like a proper, shift down. Hey, Ebenar, how you doing? How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. My thinkorswim is acting up, so it's not moving the candle, so I'm just having to do this on TradingView right now. So they took the high finally after like pussyfooting around, excuse my French, after messing around it for a while, ran up, then we've just slow grinded back down. No real setup. So for a short, what would I need to see? And let's go to the higher time frame because I always need to have some concept of where we are here and where we're trying to go to, what we're trying to do. So overall ranging, just took out the higher time frame range. So let me adjust that. Just took that out. There's more up here to dig into, so let me note that. And then maybe we get a continuation up. Let's see. Because I'm sure it's crap not getting what I want for a. Oh, hey, Ebenar, is your family doing okay in Jamaica? I checked on mine and everybody's all right, just the usual dealing with roofing and stuff. Because, when Melissa was like when people were talking about Melissa, I wasn't really thinking she was big. She was going to be bigger than Gilbert, you know, but she ended up being bigger than Gilbert, which is kind of crazy to me. All right, so well, end up using that guy again. Maybe I should try and trade lunch. This is crazy. Look at this. Sweep, shift, reuse this, shift it up with the fair value gap inside of this guy, swept that little guy, and the body would have taken me, and then I would have gotten this run right there. Okay, all right, good, good, good. Because I always know like the countries always get hit the worst. Country always get hit the worst in hurricane, you know, because not everything is a stable is of stable construction, you know, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I checked on the fam. Everybody's all right. Because they're mostly on the Kingston side too, but up closer to like Red Hills, Constant Springs area, you know. So Barbican, you know. Yeah, all right. For real. Man, I'm cold. Why is it so cold in here? All right, so let's see. We swept some liquidity up here. That's nice. If I'm gonna get any kind of short, it would have to look like this. So we swept the liquidity. So this is the leg right here. It's a big run to sweep that, drop, retrace, and then come back down into the range. If I could get that. It's not pretty, but that is what it is. So let's see if 2 o'clock gives us that. So we have the first little shifty shift here. It's just I don't, I hate when price actions like this. There's this slow BS grind down. Oh, hey Bob. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to see the trades from Friday? Yo, sure, let's do that. I did it earlier, but nobody was here to see me do it, so I guess it's only fair that I do it again, right? So I took a loss Friday for Sheezy. I was forcing along. I was absolutely forcing along. So let me show you the pre-market setup that I had on Friday morning that I was like super salty about, right? So here's the pre-market setup. So I've come to the realization that um internal sweeps can be enough, right? And then the shift after that is okay. So I got up about 5:30 and I was like, okay, what the heck, what's happening? Maybe I can, so I came in around here and we swept this and I was like, all right, well, I don't necessarily I would prefer if they swept this, but they didn't, but that's all right. So then here's what I was thinking. So as usual, right? We swept the liquidity. They made this low again. They swept that. It ran up, right? So as usual, I'm looking for a retracement back, a sweep up, and then my entry is in here somewhere, right? For a long. Stop. For a long. And I was just aiming for these highs up here. Nothing crazy. 210 tick. It was a little above that, my what I was aiming for. So I was waiting, waiting, waiting. And then just before this, I was like, okay, y'all playing games, and it's just so thin. I had to go pick up groceries, and my neighbor came over and asked for a ride to the corner store to pick up some chew. Hey man, do your thing, yo. We had daylight savings. Well, So when 9 o'clock hit, that was like 10 o'clock in my head. So I was like, let me just get started, and then I can enjoy the rest of the day. Anyway, so this is what I wanted, right? So then I was salty because I got up to go feed the cats and stuff. And um, when I came back, I saw this, which is pretty much a clear view of what I wanted, right? Like we shifted, we swept down, right, from here, and we swept that here, but we didn't sweep it with a body, right? We did that here. So then I was waiting for, so then my sweep is here, right? So I was waiting for a pullback. This is ugly. Haha. And I was waiting for a pullback and then an entry to go up here, right? So I waited and then I went to go deal with the cats right in about here just before 7 o'clock. I was like, I'll be right back. Man, I was so salty. I was like, this is some bullshit. It's like the market's trying to punk me. Because this is what I would have taken because I love this. This is beautiful. They manufactured some liquidity. They swept right through it, tapped into this fair value gap right here. Beautiful. And then they cleanly ran through this, bodies and all. Beautiful. So I would have set my entry right here with my stop. This is good. I don't care about this wick because there's more body up here, right? And I would have been tapped in. I would have gotten my whole, I would have gotten, I was aiming for 210 ticks, right? Right here. So I would have gotten my whole run and then I would have been done Friday. So that's the trade I wanted, but that's not what I got. So Friday, no. So in the afternoon, and I was looking for something in here after they swept all of this out, but they never gave me that same setup, like yeah, we swept liquidity, we shifted up, but we never got a proper swift shift back down. So I didn't take anything in the morning. So then roll back down into the PM now. And also, this is another reason why I feel like I'm being punked, right? So, they started pushing back up. Where is it? That's not there. Where is it? After 3 o'clock, right? No. Where is it? Right. So we started pushing back up, but I ended up getting stopped out as I was waiting for. You went short on that morning move down? Not, yeah, yeah. You're always on point. You're always on point, Bob. You're always on point. Let me look at my screenshot. Let me just drop my screenshot on here because I'm obviously having a moment. And no joke, I was feeling real some type of way because October has been a red month for me, like a straight up red month. I probably won one trade the whole month. It was really bad. Anyway, let me take a screenshot of this and let's just plop it over here because I I shot myself in the foot. Oh, my bad. I took the trade in the morning because I wasn't seeing the setup here when I was looking at it. It was, yeah, right in here. This is it right here. So I was waiting for a pullback because remember I said like they never gave me the proper setup. So I was waiting for a pullback. So here they had swept all that liquidity and then we got a shift here. So I was thinking we were gonna get, I was waiting for the pullback to get an entry because they swept this a little bit and I probably should have waited for a body. But I don't know. I kind of forced this one. I'm gonna rate this as like a B trade. So this is what I ended up taking, right? So I saw this fair value gap nice here, so I set my entry here. And I shouldn't have taken it because it's like 11:30. Like, what the hell am I thinking? Because I was thinking they're just pulling back to go up to this high right here. So, and that might be old. This one. Let me take that off. And let me note like a nice little area because I was just aiming for one of these guys, not like the big high, which is up here. That's plenty, for me. So I was just aiming for that. But, they tagged me in on this down close candle, and then I got a small push, and then they stopped me out like immediately afterwards. But here's why I think that yeah, but it was a red month, so it's just whatever. But here's why I think I'm being punked. So I was waiting in the afternoon. I was waiting for a short, right? I was waiting for a short. And then I saw this form right here. I was like, oh, it'd be great if I went short right around here. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just eat my one loss and just not worry about it, right? And I come back and look. I'm like, this motherfucker. This is why I'm telling you, man, I'm being punked. I'm being punked. Because I was like, oh, a short down to like here wouldn't be bad, something like that. And then come back and I see my lovely little setup. I'm so mad. I'm so salty. Look at this shit. We shift. So in my mind, this isn't the shift. This is liquidity they've generated, right? So I need them to break this guy. They break it, come back up, and then drop again. Like I'm being punked. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm being punked. Because I come back and I'm like, mother. Because no joke, I would have taken this shot right here. I would have taken that. Because I would have taken that. And I come back, I'm like, it's like the whole month they're punking me. And then on Wednesday, I had my perfect shot, my perfect setup. Let me roll over to it. Again, same thing I'm waiting for Wednesday. And then they literally came up. Where was it? Was it in the AM? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check my journal. And I was like, you know what? I am really seriously being punked by NASDAQ this October. It's like it hates me. It's like, no, you're not getting anything. You're not gonna get that set up. So Wednesday, 10:45. Yes. So 10:45 Wednesday, right here. Yes. Jokes, my youth. Jokes. So we sweep up some nice liquidity, man. And sweep it up nice right here. It's the cleanest setup I got all week, right? Cleanest setup. And no joke, they missed me by a tick entry wise. Me set my entry right here, so right there, so right here, so that's why my salt, right here, so. And then me little bottom right here, so that. That's all I'm looking for. Look at that. Look at that. Set my limit order. Me just sit down and wait. And you know what really, really hurt my heart? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Sorry, the yardie coming out. Let me tell you what hurt my heart. Me I watch that fair value gap here, so right here, so look at it. Look upon the precision of this bullshit them put me through. I do have it on my trading view. I do, Bob. I have it on another window. But it's just not my normal trading setup. So, it's sometimes I look at it for like where they might go or where they are and stuff like that. But look at this bullshit. Let's zoom in real tight. They gave me my favorite thing when I set my order there. You see me? They gave me my favorite little break. But no, man, me like, yeah, man, me have to set it on the order block. So if I set it right here, so two things. Me could have set it right here like I normally do. No problem. I still good enough in my order block, but no, no. Me set it, I could have set it at the bottom of the fair value gap, which was perfectly fine too. And I would have I would have get tag in. And instead, no, I set it up here. Then I'm sitting here like a dummy, right? Why not just move it down a little bit? No, I'm stoic, watching it run away. And then, because we had plenty of low to dig into, right? Plenty of low to dig into. That's what I was aiming for. So, secondary opportunity, right at this, right here. So, I could I take that too? Do I take it? No, it's 10:45. Could I take that? Take that, sit through all this foolishness, and still get my TP. Is it me? Look on that. Still get my TP. But no, I'm being punked. Every time I put in a good order, then don't tag me and then run gone. And then for the thinkers from people to tell me I need to trade more to get a 15 cent, you know, a 15 cent thing reduction in my fees. But look, let me tell you something. When my setup is right and I set my order, my stop is okay. You see that? Them don't even like them just tap it and go. That's what I'm used to seeing when I get when I get my setup proper. But no, no, so mad. Look at that beautiful, beautiful thing, right? Because they actually created a low here for the shift, but this is the one I cared about right here. Sweep, shift through it nicely. Shift back up, sweep through this low right here one more time. Give me an entry right here, so and drop. Them a joke, them a play a joke with me, my youth. Anyway, and that's like literally the cleanest thing that showed up for me the whole week, with the exception of that short on Friday at 3:45. Because best believe that beautiful drop occurred. Let me see. Let's go back to Friday. Let's just dig into Friday. Let's look at the time because all the way I trade is time and price, isn't it? Time and price. So if I don't, this, not that, this, right? It happens to me a lot, man, Ebenar. I understand every blasted day it happened to me. I put it in, them don't tap me, them run gone. I'm like, why do you hate me, NQ? She doesn't. She just does what she does. You know what I'm saying? That's her world. But look at this juicy trade. Juicy trade. Lord have mercy. That hurt my heart. You know what? Let's just for funsies. Just for funsies. After we see this break right here, so let's say I was there and I put my limit order right at the order block right this right there. So let's see how much money I could have made that day. You see me? Just for funsies. Let's see. Ooh, look upon that. Be in it already. Lord have mercy. So my stop is 37 ticks. How much is this TP they running for? How much was this TP? I have never made this much in a day. You see me? In a week. See me? Look upon this foolishness. Look upon this easy peasy lemon squeezy foolishness. Are you choking me? I would have been like this already. My stop right here, so lock in. Actually, no, I would put it here because actually I would put it here because if you're following it and there's a fair value gap, you want to be above the candle that formed the fair value gap. So this guy, look at this. And let me tell you something right here, so right here now, me locking, yeah, so me locking right here, so many business. Oh, did it? And then bam, that would be my biggest trade. Sexy. And when did that entry come in? 350. So if I don't get something between 2 and 3, I'm gonna start waiting until after 340 because that's when they move. If they're gonna give you another setup. Now Wolfie was saying like once 3 o'clock hit, they're like, buy it. They're pumping, pumping, pumping. And they did. They pumped and swept some liquidity right here, so, and then them drop. And I was like, oh, they're probably gonna continue back down now. And they did. Anyway, that's this shit that happens to me. So we're on a new month, is November. You know what? You know what I haven't done in a very long time is actually take a look at like the higher time frame, you know, at the higher time frame. Look at this. We just going up, y'all. We just going up. Up and away. Up and away. But yeah, Bob, I have your levels here. Let me see. Is this one? This is my levels one. Levels, yeah. So use the 1 hour. I probably need to set some fresh levels. You think so? Gap fill next week? So I haven't set any more levels since the first round that we did. So I need to like do that and update. So these are the levels and look how beautiful those things work. Look at this. Juicy. Tap that level to level. Tap that level to level. This one level to level. Nice. Your levels are pretty boss, Bob. For realsies, it's pretty nice. Well, let's see. I can't, you know what? I was setting up like a trading trading the minis for the last 2 years. I can't go back to I can't switch to micros. It would drive me insane to go for 55 points and then three micros and only make 315. Like it would drive me nuts. I can't do it. Because I'm making like 1200 on one mini on my really good days, and then to switch to a micro and make 300 would drive me nuts. If I'm gonna do that, I might as well just like go for my base hit on the mini and just take the 500 and call it a day. So I'm gonna have to keep going as I'm going. It is working. I just, have moments where I just don't get my setups. Oh. I did set up a 5 and 3 mini micro template in my thinkorswim. I don't think I'm gonna use it. Anyway, is there a particular day you guys want to back test? Because I'm gonna continue. I've just been grabbing a random day. So let's just do a random replay, start new. So it don't matter which day, we just go in 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. Click. All right, so what do we end up with? This is a Thursday. So I'm gonna push it forward because that's a doji. That's a Friday. Let's dig into a Monday, Tuesday. So this is April 24th. Let's drop to a 15 minute and let's take a look at the pre-market because I'm terrible at trading pre-market and I think I'm gonna start getting up at 5:30 and trying to see if I can get something. All right, so let's nip over to the 1 minute for this pre-market, and basically we've had a giant gap to be filled down here from the Sunday open. That thing is juicy. Hmm? Oh, let me see. Oh man, that is a that is a mean. But yeah, that level to level is juicy. Look at that. Hmm. That's a screenshot of my zones where you took your first trade. Oh, in the morning. All right, hold on. So let's snip up this way. So I need to set up the levels again on, why don't I have it on this one? Uh, you are using, let's take a look at the levels. The VRVP and the SVP, right? No, I'm not gonna beat myself up about any trade, but it's just, I don't know, it felt too much like I was being punked, you know? The whole month of October just didn't feel like it cared about me in any way, shape, or form. All right, so let's update these levels. So you had, let's see, 270 up and down, and then you have 70, 100. So 270 up and down, and I need the colors to be the same because I don't care. Let's make that black. So I don't care about red or just volume. I should have been green on that trade, but nah, got my ass handed to me. As always, that's all right though. That's just the nature of trading, y'all. And let me set this to 100. And let's set this to like blue so I can see the difference. Okay, so if I'm going with the new levels, let me clone this puppy right here. Would we use this guy? Because it's just the one section there. Eh, yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. Ooh, just copy my levels. Okay, all right. Tell you what, you have your levels on TradingView, right? You can send them to me. I think you can share it. You can share. Uh, I think you can share. I don't know. Yeah, you can share it if you want, or export the chart data or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Let's come back to some back testing. All right, so some pre-market action, and this is what day? April 25th. Let's see if there's any news on April. Yeah, Ebinar, I do have a little small, like very, very tiny group for Discord of folks that just, just Bob's on there, Wolfie, High Life. Pretty much the only people, and you, the only people that come to watch me. And they're really good traders. Like Bob's stuff is the bomb. Hey, Ebinar, how long have you been trading? Are you like, have you hit profitability? As we all know, I haven't. It's 5:44. Okay, so something I like. You're gonna work hard and get me the coordinates and all the levels. I mean, I appreciate it, Bob. I use them as reference since well, Bob's been trading since 2019. He's pretty great. Whoa, 10 years. That's badass, man. What do you think, Bob? Should we invite Eminar to the Discord? What do you want? What do you think? Because I mean, I have one, but it's only for like, a small group, so I gotta let the group decide if I can add more folks to it. 10 years is badass, man. What do you trade? Like, what's your like model? Okay, so we're running up, shifting. Let's see. We swept some internal liquidity here. Where can we go? I forgot to. Yeah, we got to take a vote, so I can't just like add folks. We're digging into this puppy. Nice, nice. So we opened here and we closed here, so that's where you're going. You're digging into this volume imbalance, this void, sorry, this liquidity void. Nice. So moving up makes a ton of sense. All right. So we have a sweep of liquidity. Okay, am I missing? So we have an internal retracement, sweep up, and that's looking a little weak for a continuation for the moment. So I need to see. Futures is where it's at, in my opinion. Like the sheer amount of money I can make just trading the Nasdaq makes me so very happy. So liquidity swept here. We got a shift here. So came down. We took that. Now I'm looking for this. Let's get a retracement back this way, shift that way, return here, and then dig further into this thing. And so my entry would be in this general vicinity right here. So let's see. So right now they're generating some liquidity. I want to see them take it out. So is there a tiny fair value gap in here? I'm going to move this just so I can remember the thing. Generated, ran above it. So technically, ran above it. Technically, in this scenario, the long should have been here after they swept up, and my stop would have been fine. But the question is, do we get 210 ticks? Because once they get to the midpoint of these things, I always wonder if they're going to run away. Okay. All right, Eminar, no worries, no worries. No worries. So let's see. Looks like we would have gotten that with flying colors. So part of my problem sometimes is the fact that it's just not clean. So my question is, originally when this ran off right here, I would have wanted to set my entry like right. Actually, right that little guy right there. Or right there is where I would have. They didn't come back. So that should tell me it's a strong, need to move up. And then I was looking for retracement, which we got here, and then they shifted up. So yeah, that's literally the only place I could have had an entry. So the flow of that is what we had. Oops. The flow of that is what we had here. So technically that sweep, the shift is here. Shift above here was about there. They retraced back to here for the entry. And then well, they retraced here for an entry. And then they ran up. The fact that it's not like perfect drives me nuts. So, Ebinar, do you trade micros or minis? What's your what's your thing? Do you trade like ICT? Do you trade the orb, the 50-minute, 5-minute orb, or I don't know, there's like so many different things out here. So on this day, the pre-market would have netted me something for sure. And then I think the thing that would have made me feel even more comfortable with this trade is the respect of that bullish fair value gap. We had one, two, three. I usually like them to come back in, but it's not like a huge sweep of bigger liquidity, if I'm being honest. So sometimes it's hard for me to see the setup when it's so far away from the original shift, which I think is a problem for me. But I would have gotten what is essentially a mini sniper entry here and then ran up. Not bad. All right, let's dig into the post 10 o'clock time frame for this. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so all of that we would have had, I would have set up a buy side liquidity here. And if I drop to the 15-minute time frame, I'd be looking for places with equal lows that they might want to run back down into, like right here. Looks kind of juicy for some equal lows. Some sell side liquidity under here. So we swept this. Strong bullish day. Would we have gotten something post 10 o'clock? Oh, I'm a little ahead of my time there. Geez, what the heck? Let's back up. I wanted 10 o'clock, not 10:13 or whatever. All right, so 10 o'clock. Oh man, this is some bullshit. So one thing about chop, I'm realizing whenever there's chop, there is that one moment where it sweeps the chop with a wick and then it continues in the opposite direction. Let's see. 26. Wow, you're putting the numbers next to it and everything, Bob. That's pretty badass. So in this case, they haven't taken this yet, so that's potential option. Let's see. Sometimes my stop, prevents me from there's plenty of space from here to here, so let's see. See how tight my stop is. So we took this out. There's the bigger liquidity for them to go for. I would love for them to roll back down into this because that's a strong candle right there. So let's see. So they got close but didn't take it. So it's just chop suey up in here. So I wouldn't mind a sweep of the chop. A sweep of the chop with a fair value gap is what I would love to see for potential entry. So they give us one here. So I'm going to set my entry there because, I'm being particular and they might tap that one more time. So let's see. And then if they don't, so then actually, technically, I should set it right here. I don't know if my stop can handle that, but let's see. So what sometimes happens to me is I wait for that and then they just do that. And that annoys the shit out of me. So the only other way I could have potentially have gotten into this trade is if I was just sitting around waiting for them to come tap the midpoint of this, literally. Or if I had the capital, set a stop there and then, set my entry there and then put my stop below here since we've not closed a body below this space. Or if I've been paying attention, which I wasn't just now, note that this wick is here and nothing's like superseded it. So then I could have set my entry at the body with my normal stop in the or close to it like so, and with the expectation that yeah, that's just below that wick and then just waited for something to come back down. But that's not really my setup at all. At all. But so I wouldn't have gotten that in the AM. So let's dig in to the PM. Well, what time is that? 10:34. So if they run away and don't give me nothing, maybe they give us something in the opposite direction. So let's see. Uh, do we have something for a shift? Technically not until all the way down here. So if I were to take something, I would need that, shift up that, come back to here for an entry, and then drop back into that range or whatever. Something like that is what I would look for. But I hate these elongated types of entries. So it's either they're just going to continue on up since they were pussyfooting around, moving up in the first place. Then it's after 10 o'clock. So is there a fair value gap in this mess that we could use for a continuation that way? So there's a tiny one here, a small one here. I don't know. I'm still focused on this guy. So let's see. Look at that. So we're just chopping in the same dang space. But hold up. So are we using this guy? Is that the one you want to use? Because a continuation just needs a pullback into a fair value gap. Then I need to trust that that fair value gap will hold. I don't have a lot of trust in these markets, let's be honest, right? But what I do like in this scenario right here is this. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna continue on up. Let's say we go to take that high out. That would be nice, right? They tapped into this, closed no real bodies below the midpoint of this guy. Tapped this order block, these order blocks right here. Wicks, ran up. So let's see if my poor little stop could handle this. If I would have been stopped out. So let's see. So I've been wicked in there. So 300 bucks off of that one candle. Are you joking me? So I would need it to just run up now, not choke this trade, which is what it's doing. And we're in the chop zone. Choky. So definitely stopped out. Oh, sorry, forgot to put the stop loss right there. So yeah, I would have been stopped out for that, and then that would have been the end of it. But that's if I was gonna take a continuation trade. I'm not very good at those. So remember what I said originally. So my original setup is we ran up, we took liquidity. I'd like for them to take that out, roll back up in here, shifts, and give me an entry in here probably to go down. Because we use this guy. So let's see. Do we do that in this case? I don't know. I'm trying to get comfortable with all of these weird versions of my setup. I really am. I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying. So this is what, after 11 o'clock, I probably would have closed. Okay, so there's the first one. So this is 11:23. So we have the first shift here. Let's see if we can line this puppy up. It's ugly, but it is there. So I would love to see a push up. Some kind of return back up. So I was hoping they would go back this way, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. They're just going to keep dropping. Yep, they're just going to keep dropping. So then in this scenario, I don't think my setup works in that scenario at all. Like, now, because we've taken liquidity. Maybe I should have been a little less picky. Maybe I should have been like, wait for them to shift past that, then return back up into something, drop, take an entry, go. Hey, Maddie. Where's your little girl? Who's your kitty? Who's your kitty? Hey, you okay? So we're dog sitting, and so Buffy, who's, I don't know what kind of dog she is, but anyway, she's a little sweetheart, but she barks a lot at everything. And so Maddie got really scared, and she was hiding in like a little cupboard. Get out, little girl. So it's nice to see her because she's been hiding in her higher like space. Oh, that's nice. Options. I still don't understand anything about options if I'm being honest with you. I agree. They are all the same. Everybody's got these different newfangled names for things, but they're all the same name. Fair value gap versus imbalance. Liquidity sweep versus stop hunt. It's the same thing. Just everybody just repurposing the stuff. The important part is how you use it and if it works for you. You know what I mean? Hi, pretty girl. You've had a rough weekend with the scary doggy barking at you, huh? Huh. Such a little cutie. Who's a cutie? Come here, let me give you a big huggy poo. Whee! Say hello. Say hello. Who's a Maddie? Shit sprinkled with diamond dust. Ain't that the truth? You're so warm and soft. What are you doing? Anyway, don't look at kitty booty. Do not close my laptop. Let me close it. I don't know why she likes to rub her face. Look at her. Look at her. Just, she's now lounging, lounging on across two laptops. Look at her, just splayed out, all adorable cuteness. Hey, hey, pretty girl. Aren't you a cutie? Nee, 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 nee. Huh? Yes. This is a cat break for anybody who's watching. This is a cat mental health break. Enjoy the purrs and the cuteness. In that right, little girl. Let me see. Gotta snip your myrtle mittens, man. They're mitteny and murdery. So she is, oh, from 10:30 to 11 from Friday. Yeah. She is like my little my little lap kitty. So be careful what you wish for, right? In the universe, because you sometimes get what you're asking for. So I'm just showing off. We're taking a quick kitten cuteness break. Oh, really? Don't be upset. It just is what it is. It is what it is. I'm used to losing, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is the case. And I'm also trying to get used to winning as well, you know? So eventually I will get to the more winning than losing. So for the year, I'm down 715 bucks, which is technically one trade for me because I'm looking for about 1,025 every trade I take on one mini. Maddie, that is not a toy. Really? You gonna look at her just gnawing at my pen. I can't even see her. Can't even get you close enough to see her. She's in the corner. Anyway, it's okay. Taking losses is okay. So I'm trying to analyze what I'm doing wrong in this moment. Little girl, little girl, little girl, little girl. Come here. You want it? Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't. You can't gnaw on my pen. I use it to write in my journal, pretty girl. Like full playtime. Look at her. Just full playtime. I know your pro. Yeah, it's okay, Bob. Like we all got to here. Go over there. She bolted. We all have a problems dealing with losing trades, but it's a part of the game, you know? It's a part of the game. So I'm wondering what I could have done better here. Ooh, you know, I probably should have taken a look at this. Because something I actually do like sometimes, right? And this is something that I really enjoy, but I don't take as often as I should. So you see this fair value gap, right? They tagged it, used it, tapped up, right? So instead of taking a long, I sometimes like, and I might not have taken this because of the fair value gap above here, right? But I sometimes like, when they break below them like this nicely, um, body there. Look at that. Beautiful. Like what? And I wouldn't even been aiming for that much. I would have just gone for this low right here. Like that. I mean, that's a lot though. That's like a 2K trade. But a lot of times when they use these fair value gaps as like support like this, and then they bust through it with this nice juicy candle, that's also like a setup that I sometimes like try to dig into. I have a hard time taking them, but I really should. Well, we got to work on that dark hole, Bob, because really, it's just a part of life, right? Like losing is a part of life. And look at you. Hey, dang it. And look at you. Like you dug yourself out of a nice little hole and now you're in the green and you're on your way to a payout. I mean, how badass is that? Come on. How badass is that? That's super badass. All right, so just because I'm curious and I want to know if this would how this would feel, I'm gonna do this and then because I would be like wondering, ooh, we bust through here with a nice thick candle. That's beautiful, right? Then set a limit order. And we're doing this just to feel good about ourselves, okay, y'all? And then I would have been tagged in on that candle. So then my stop loss would be right there, right there, 185. And then my TP would be right here. And this is right now, this is just a gratuitous thing, not, and it's trades I've taken in the past that's netted me like a decent amount of wins. Oh, what? Was that one candle? No way. In one candle, y'all. That's insane. Beautiful, but insane. Anyway, so this is what time? 10 something? That's 11:24. Yeah, the probability of me taking this trade is like really low. Really, really low. But I don't know, like there wasn't a proper shift in this whole space. Brutal. Yeah. That's like a $2,000 candle on one mini. Quick and dirty. Like what the heck, man? So, Maddie, do not walk on my laptop. You're not closing my stream early like you did that last time. And go get my pen. I threw it so you could play with it, and then you got bored in like 2 seconds. These dang cats. Anyway, let's pick another day and trade pre-market. So let's remove all these drawings and close this out. And let's go to the daily. Again, let's reset. All right, we go hit replay. We're just gonna hit some random stuff. We're just gonna go close our eyes and just swing side to side and then stop. Okay, where are we? This is June 5th on a Thursday. Okay. So, something I'm, oh my God. Dang it, Maddie, now I'm cold and wet and there's water all over me. Mm. Oh yeah. Once volume is present and setups the trade is on. Yeah. Yeah. Something I've been working through this whole year is just set when I see it, set it. That's it. See it, set it. Damn cat dropped my water on me, man. Don't laugh at me, Bob. Now I'm just all cold and wet. And it's 40 degrees outside. Maddie, you cute thing, you. Dang it. Still over here laughing at me like, you don't know. All right, let's drop to the 15 minute and then let's look at pre-market. Nope, 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 nope. Select bar. So this is a Thursday. Let's get to 5:45 because I'm waking up at 5:30, so that's about when I'm going to be looking at this anyway. Cool. So let's reset the chart for that. Okay. And where is London low? It's right about there. So let's see. Yeah. So let's note that as London low. But we did have this sweep. No, this is not a toy, little girl. Ugh. Let me tell you something. I bought some heated gloves. Those things are the bomb. I'm in love. Oh, it happens. It happens. So you were like salty leaving the house cold. I had to walk Buffy at 6:30. So you should have seen me. I literally, you know, heavy sweatpants, big, warm. Actually, I didn't wear warm. I had like a fleece on. I had my little cap on. I had my heated gloves. And then I went and got her because I had to carry her, down the stairs so the kitties, so she doesn't like try and lunge at the kitties. And then we took a walk and she dropped the biggest puppy deuce on the planet. All right, where is the liquidity in this scenario? So there's a high right here with some liquidity. That's close. Some buy side. So basically made some equal highs up here. So that's juicy. So would love for them to take this out so I can go up. So let's see if this pre-market action gives it. Yo. So I'm not a big fan of the poop, but I had to pick up some healthy dog poop this morning. We've been waiting like 2 days for her to poop properly, and she like got her good pooped on, and I, the non-poop lover, got to enjoy picking that up. All right, so let's see what this pre-market gives us. So let's, all right. I'll even take an internal sweep if we get one. That's not one. Generating liquidity. Ugh, these candles are so weak. Like seriously. All right, so we took this out. Nice. Oh, you did? What's the screen now? Okay. So what time is it? 6:58, almost 7 o'clock. So I'd love for them to come down and take the London lows out. All right. Nothing for me here. They swept it again. Initial shift. All right, so let's see. I'm also trying to get comfortable with internal shifts. So this is one. So let's note this puppy. I prefer if it had formed here, but whatever. All right. So this little mini leg here. So let's see. Okay. So did that swept that, but not that. Okay. So we ignored that, ran back up. So as always, in these legs, run, shift, shift, run for the highs, which is all the way up here. So plenty of time and space. So for this leg, I'd like to see that taken out and then a return. Now, I sometimes wonder if I'm being too picky, right? This is like after 8, because I don't like this. There's no sweep here. They shifted that, but then took that out. So that like invalidates what I'm looking for. Selecting apps at the bottom. Why don't you go to Windows 11 and be done? Like what is the problem with Windows 11? You'll get your updates, life will be like a box of chocolates, but no, you just don't want to. Okay, all right. So that's juicier. This was just crap. So that was 8:30 news. So this pre-market would have netted me nothing. Nothing. Now if I was actually I probably should have checked to see if I should have been short biased on this day too. But look at that. So they were using this little fair value gap. I sometimes wait for fair value gaps that have been used for support to get broken and become inversions, and then I use them for entries. Oh, let me see. Nerd alert. Oh, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. That's nice. Yeah, I saw the nerd alert. Oh, this is yeah, that's a nice looking view. You know, I've never even bothered to look at my windows. What do I have on my background? It's just like a default, like I think it's Ireland. I haven't done anything special with the display for this because I just don't care. Really just don't care. As long as I can trade on it and then do a little surfing, yeah, it's good. But it's not a bad play to have something fun when you're on your setups. Okay, sweep. They wouldn't have given me anything here, so let's see. We swept that nice wick up. Might get the continuation up now, but this is after news. Nerd alert. Hey, ain't nothing wrong. As long as you're happy with your nerdy setup, enjoy your nerdy setup. So I'm gonna skip this because this pre-market doesn't work. So I'm gonna move this up to 10 o'clock on this day. And this is 8:30. Whoa, that's rude. 9:15. Ugh, I hate when they take everything out and then they go sideways. 9:45. So let's 10 o'clock the hell out of this. Ugh, this is gross. This is a gross kind of day. And I probably didn't even take a trade this day because what the hell? It took the lows again. We are enjoying some chop at after 10 o'clock. It's not clear. And I guess there's a slight shift right here. I don't like it. We're in a weird range. See what is that? They came back down and then took this. Did they take that? No, they made equal lows. It's probably going to continue coming down. Or I'm wrong and it goes straight up. None of this fits my normal setup at all. So I wouldn't have taken any trades here. Though, did have a inversion fair value gap here, but I wouldn't have been fast enough to get. By the way, this is not even the high that they'd be aiming for anymore. Nope. They did have an inversion fair value gap they used here, tapped it. They tapped the order block here and then just ran off for a cool. Whew, Jesus. That's 111 points on that puppy. What a world. See, days like this I don't I don't get into because once they've taken all of this out, I need to see what's available on the higher time frame. Like, what are they running to? Was this all-time highs in June? Holy crap, it was. Have I mentioned how much I hate all-time highs? Like, I hate it. Like, for real. I hate it with a burning fiery passion. But what I do when I start aiming for all-time highs, so like for this to get taken, then I start, I grab like the 1 hour, 4 hour, and I just do standard deviations on everything. So that's a half standard deviation. That one's a one. So these are just places to aim for in the all-time highs. Yeah, I really hate it. I cannot stand it. It drives me nuts. Ugh. So that would be a zero point 0.5. So for this day, I would have been doing this in the hopes that they run up. So something I've noticed, like they like to run up to the zero point 0.5, the 1, 1.5, and then they take forever to go to the 2, you know, if they even hit the 2. Whoa, were we ever at 22K? So then do that, and then I like check other lows to see if anything's close, some correlation like that one is. I go to the 4 hour and then I I do the same thing over again. So that's the all-time high, and this is the low on the 4 hour, and that's the high there. So that gives us a different set of standard deviations, and that's okay. And I usually just use like the 1 hour for the most part, and then see if I can find some correlations between the two. And then I would just aim for stuff there. But this on the 4 hour looks like crap, like it wants to drop. So what time is this? 10:49. Also, in this new trading environment, most of my trades don't even show up until after 11 o'clock, which is annoying, or after 3:45, which is annoying. So I would wonder in here, nice run up, internal sweep. They did sweep internal liquidity here and they ran up here very aggressively and ran down here. So it's anyone's guess. Do we go down or do we go up? Now, if I follow my model in this on this day, we did sweep some liquidity here. Not a fan, so we dropped that. We swept it here. I would need a show here, a shift above that, and then a retracement, and then a continuation up to this guy. That's what I would need to look for. And then for a short, with that sweep, same scenario. This is cool. We swept internal liquidity here. There's this right here. So this guy, sweep, shift, drop, come up here and go for those lows. More likely after the annoying, more likely based off of the range that we're in. So let's see. We're all-time highs, we're ranging. You're gonna do your little floppy flop. Simba! Simba! If she was a girl. There you go. You can sit down now and relax yourself. All right, so let's see if the short works out. But I'm not holding my breath for anything. Sure doesn't look like it. What time is this? 11:07. So I wouldn't even be trading at this time. Ugh, look at this. Come on, what is this? I guess this was a shift and they came into this order block, the top of the wick. I don't trade those. My stop can't handle it, so nothing to do here. Let's pick another day. This is annoying. Let's get up out of there. Let's go in the day. So we're just testing random days. Oh, look at that though. They rolled up on every piece of that standard deviations. All right. Let's do a new day. I'm gonna just stay in this small range right here. Click. Also because I need to learn to trade all-time highs. Seriously. All right, so what day is this? This is October 1st. Okay. October is not my favorite month. So still very bullish. We got this guy. They dug into it. Continuation up. All right, let's go to 15-minute. And let's do pre-market because I need to learn how to trade the pre. So 5:45 right here. All right. Let's drop to the 1 minute. Wait, no, hold on. It's all-time highs, so I need to set some stuff right here. Some buy-side liquidity. And then where's London lows? Ow. Don't kick me with your little kitty paws. Trying to be cute and nappy. All right, so London lows are here. Along with dun da da da. Everyone to say dun da 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 Ghostbusters. But why? There's like literally no reason for there to be any Ghostbusters in this moment. Ignore me, I'm just being random. Okay, so use this as support. Nice. Let me make sure that's properly sorted out. Because sometimes I get my ass handed to me. Look at that tiny little break there. See, gotta catch that. That's the whole survey gap right there. And there's nothing on the bottom. Hey LP, how's it going? Oh, I definitely missed trades last week, and I got I took exactly one trade last week, one, and I got stopped. And I was salty because I think the yeah, I am life. Why you telling people my secrets, man? Dang. Don't be telling people I'm low key losing it. I meditated this morning because yeah, I feel like I was low key losing it. Felt the whole month of August, I felt like I was being punked by the NASDAQ, yo. She was being a mean diva, yo. Not giving me setups, or when I get my clean setup and I set my entry, not tagging me in, then running away, or I'm waiting for my setup, I gotta go deal with the kitties, and then I come back, beautiful setup, but it's gone. I mean, it's just been like one thing after another. So full disclosure, I'm down 715 on the year, and for the month of October, it's 930. So yeah, but it is what it is. I'm trying to stay very positive because I need to. So if I need to use my emotional support kitties for that, I will. Right, my little Maddie? You're like my little Simba, Simba. Right, baby? We just what traders go through, my little baby kitty. It is. We out here setting orders, taking risk because we hope that we have an edge. Yo, meditation is life, man. And you know, I did not meditate the whole month of October. Not once. I did not. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I generally used to meditate every single morning. And somehow, look at this little cutie. And somehow I didn't meditate not once in October. I keep saying August. Why do I keep saying August? But Ebenar, you're absolutely right. You know, it's just what traders go through. You know, every losing trade to me is another way to refine my setups. So I'm not mad at it. I am I'm well and truly used to. Yeah, this is Maddie. She is a terror. Even if she's a sweet and adorable lap kitty, the other half of the time when she's not being a terror. Oh, yo, man, I wish I had a video of this. So, like I said, we're dog sitting this weekend. So we got a 75-inch gate haul, right? We put it up on Friday. And so we put this one and Sasha behind the gates. So this one is like, and then tries to climb it immediately and fails twice, right? But no joke. It was like possibly the most athletic thing I've ever seen. When Buffy came in and started barking at them behind the gate, Sasha, my other cat, yeah, I wish I had video evidence. It was the coolest shit. She took a running leap at that gate. She climbed it in like 1 second, cleared it, and ran up the stairs so fast. I was like, so surprised. Literally, we can't keep them contained. Cannot keep them contained in any. I have to put a door if I want to contain them. Because I'm thinking, yeah, they can't get over this gate. The dang thing wasn't up for like an hour before it was scaled. These cats, man, may I tell you? Anyway, So we're having an emotional support kitty time because it trading is stressful. Yo, for real. No, no, that was a Usain Bolt moment, man. I tell you. Combined with Marlene, all right, isn't me? Combined with her because she had to speed run, climb, gone, jump down, go. I'm like, it was the funniest shit I've seen. The funniest. And I was just like, you know what? These cats cannot be contained. You can't contain no cat, man. I tell you right now, if you want to keep them in a space, you better have a door. And make sure that door don't have no gap. None. Because if there's a gap, they're liquid, them just slink through. Oh my God. I was like on the floor. I was on the floor with like laughter. I couldn't stop myself. I was like, I don't know where me get them kidney these cats from, but they are extra. They're extra. Oh my God. But that reminds me, like, I was watching this clip, um, where some folks in, I guess, Jamaica or somewhere else was watching like the French news for Melissa, and they were like reporting on Melissa in Jamaica. And as soon as they like left Haiti or whatever, and then they hit Jamaica, the first thing on the clip was Bomba Cloud on the news. I was like, yeah. We looking at proper yard, you know. Anyway, what we're doing? Pre-market. Where we at? 2.5 hours. Yo, I was on the floor. Oh, I know we're supposed to be doing some trading, but yo, check it. I watched another one. I think the lady was in Mobay, and she saw our neighbor come knock upon our door, and the lady said, "Yo, come help me take off my roof before Melissa show up." She went and they took the roof off, before Melissa come, man. They take off the roof. She knows I'm gonna take the roof, but she don't have no roof. Hey, that's why you have to love Caribbean people, you know. You have to love Caribbean people. Jamaican people, huff, man, huff. And always so peppy, man, no matter what happened. Hurricane, earthquake, a party. Tough. Don't play with Jamaican people, man. Take off the roof. I love it. Anyway, I think I've lost the plot of this whole conversation. So I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done like actually doing any more back testing. I'm just gonna just gonna laugh about things and just go on about my business. Um, so I will not be available tomorrow. I have to go into my office for the first time in 5 years since COVID started, actually. I have to go into the office to, yeah, resilient. It don't matter what hit a reality. Everything all right. Everything Chris and Curry. You best believe, man. Cause we bless. No matter what go on, we bless. Everything all right. Cause where there's life, you can do anything. That's probably why my partner calls me a golden retriever. Because I'm just so happy all the time, most of the time. But I will say this though before I head out, like trading is one of those things that has been the most straining, stressful to the psyche that I've ever done. I know that at the end of it, I'm gonna get what I need out of it and I'm gonna make a lot of money. And I'm gonna be able to do whatever I want. I know that. But the journey, man, the journey hard. Like every loss, you hear Bob saying like he has a hard time dealing with the loss. It makes him spiral. And yeah, trading is hard. When we lose, it's like we're being punished, like but at the end of the day, I try to remember that every loss for me is a growth opportunity. So I sit down and I go towards it and I say, hey, what did I do wrong in this trade? Because it helps me fix the next trades that happens after that, and that's the important way to think about it. Don't think about it like you're losing anything, especially if you can trade paper trade, and back test your stuff like or forward test it paper trading because that stuff helps. I did that for a whole year before I put money behind the market and I was profitable paper trading. But nothing, and let me tell you something, even with all the paper trading in the world, nothing can prepare you for the feeling of putting your own live money in the market. That's a whole different feeling. Because with paper trading, it doesn't feel real, right? It doesn't feel real because, hey, I'm not losing anything. I put the trade here. And sometimes it makes you like do willy-nilly crap, instead of being like super particular about your setup and waiting for the confirmations and all that good stuff. With paper trading, it doesn't get you there, but it does help if you can be disciplined, isn't it? If you can be disciplined, you'll get to where you need to go. But the moment you enter live market and live funds is in is on the line. I tell you, I put my first trade in, I was shaking. I was shaking. It was just the most stressful thing. You think about trading like you know, let me say that a different way. When you first start thinking about trading, right? Like you're thinking of it like any other job, but it's not any old job. It's literally, I think I heard this once, the hardest, easiest way to make money. Hard, what? Hard because you have to master yourself, right? No, nobody else. You're not competing with anybody. You have to master yourself to get to the easy money, the easy part of it, right? Because once you master yourself and you figure out your edge, you're going to make the money. The money will come. But when we think about it from a regular work concept, right? Like when you go to work, you're expected to do something. There's action all day, right? Doesn't matter what it is. If you're a construction worker, you're building something all day. If you work in an office, you're clicking something, sending emails, blah, blah, blah. You're constantly moving. But with trading is the opposite. You literally have to sit and wait and do nothing until the thing that is your edge in the market shows itself to you and then you pounce. But the problem is, we as people are wired to constantly be doing something, constantly be doing something. And I think that's the main reason why 90% of people fail at trading because they can't change the mindset. You see me? From I need to be clicking, clicking, doing something constantly to I need to wait for that A plus setup that's gonna pay me money. You see me? So that's what I've been trying to work through is being patient and waiting for the A plus setup. And yes, it drives me batty when I wait and I don't take it. I wait and I wait and I wait and I'm like, yes, and I don't take it. I've been fighting with that all year. If I had taken every last A plus setup that I saw, I would have won more than I lost and I would be profitable and I'd be green, decently green on the year. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just have to sit because half the time I'm sitting here like doing these journals is to remind myself that I'm close. The goal is near, but I still have to fight through me. Because you see what I just said, right? If I'd taken every single A plus setup I saw, I would be green. I would be well into the green. Hey, hey, life. Hey, I think my streams are crazy. Rude. Yeah, the hesitation is real. You know, you hesitate a second and it's gone. Isn't it? It's just gone. And you're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And then you end up taking subpar trades afterwards to make up for hesitating and then lose. Isn't that ridiculous? You wait all day for that A plus juicy red mango like setup. Man, I miss mangoes, man. I miss mangoes so hard. Oh, we need a black in my youth. Oh, and some good guinea. Oh, come on, man. I'm not mad at you for anything. We just joking. Yeah, that is the worst part. The worst part is waiting, hesitating, and then following it up with a subpar trade, a B and a C setup that won't pay you. So I've been fighting that part of me, that hesitation this whole year. What was it? The end of July, I said, I'm only gonna trade my A plus setup, right? That day I took an A plus setup that net me $1,200. Like, yeah, man. The very next day my setup show up again, I hesitate and miss out on another $1,200 trade. But that's the reality. There are phases that we go through as traders, you know? Like last year, this time last year, I was in a whole different place than I am in right now. Because this time last year, I was down 4 or 5K, right? Fighting different problems, not taking prime setups, not waiting, not being patient. That's a different problem. As traders, we are going over humps, you know? So when we clear a hump, another one find itself, and you have to clear that hump until you get to the next hump, and then the next hump, and then finally you're at a decent place where you're profitable, right? You're still going to have losing days. You might have losing weeks. You might have losing months, but you're still profitable. But as new traders, let me see, I started this channel about 3 years ago, and I've only been trading live funds for a year and where are we? 11 months. I'm not profitable. I'm not here trying to teach anybody nothing. I'm here trying to master myself. So I've passed different humps. You know, there's times when I go to bed, man, I can't sleep. My brain's thinking about the losing trade and why didn't I do that and why didn't I do this and okay, tomorrow we're gonna be better. We're gonna be better. Because I put on my thing 1% better every day, growing every day. And if you don't do that, if even if you're losing, man, it don't matter. If you don't focus on the fact that what happened yesterday, let me analyze it. Let me learn from it. Let me grow from it. If you don't focus on that, you're never gonna get to where you need to go. And yeah, I was sitting here thinking, you know, what was it? I heard somebody say women are usually better traders than men because we're not as emotional and we're not as prone to, just FOMOing and going nuts. And I will freely admit, I don't know if that's true or not. Um, I think everything is about your personality and your ability to discipline yourself and find patience in everything that you're doing. That's what I think, right? So I don't know about if gender helps. I think that anybody can have that gambling mentality and then come in here and then treat trading like it's some kind of game and then press, 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 press. Anybody could do that. So all of these stereotypes about yes, women or men, it don't matter. It's the personality, it's the person, it's you. So every loss and every win is me. I did that. I don't care what anybody's saying on social media. I don't care what any of that crap. What I will say is I appreciate, all you folks just sitting here talking with me and sharing your thoughts with me, because that stuff's helpful. Knowing that you're not alone, everybody's dealing with the same things. It's interesting, you know? I was talking about Bob, right? Right, Eminar? It's the person. It's always the person. Like people sometimes they like to blame other things and push the blame off elsewhere. Man, look here. We all have one life to live, isn't it? One life. So that means that everything you do in that life is your choice. So if you're sitting around blaming other people for whatever situation you're in, I mean, I don't know how you're going to dig yourself out of that little, hole you've dug yourself into, right? The only way to get out of bullshit is to recognize that you have control over your life. And if there's a portion of it that is not under your control, man, fireball for that. And focus on the things you can control, right? So what we have? We have to we have to work for pay bills. So that means that in the meantime, if you're trying to become a profitable trader, you still have a job. So you need to do that job and make some money, pay your bills, right? So that part you can't control. So for me, I still have to get up and log into the people them laptop and do the people them work. But the pieces I can control is when I sit down and like look at the talk to you folks and back test and forward test and then focusing on the market and then take my setup. The only thing I can control is me. So whatever I do, that's on me. So as traders, we need to recognize that and just be okay with that. Fix yourself before you can fix anything else. Feeling like stressed, man, stress is a killer, man. Yo, stress, man. Stress is a killer. You don't want that. Meditate, take a walk, fresh air, hang out with good friends. It don't matter what it is. Take time from anything that you're doing. If you're working, you're trading, don't spend the weekend trading, if you're trading crypto, because lower volume, weirdness, go enjoy yourself. Take a walk. Okay, I'm just going down a rabbit hole now. Go watch some anime. I'm gonna go do that after this. But just remember that whatever you're doing, you'll get to where you need to go if you just keep moving forward. I'm not over here crying that I'm down 715. I've been green on the year 3 times. I've been red the rest of it. That's nothing new. But the important part is I am growing from all of that. Before before the end of July, beginning of August, I was taking 2 trades a day. Now I'm aiming for 3 trades a week, looking for $1,000 if I can get it. And that's been a weird transition. Frustrating as hell. I'm watching Bob and Wolfie take their trades, Hyla taking their trades, making money, losing money, but active. Not being active is driving me nuts, But it's me that I'm mastering. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but yeah. Anyway, yo, I what is it? It is 11:48, which is amazing because usually I'm done by like 1 o'clock or something. I'm gonna see if there's a movie I want to watch. I watched Chainsaw Man yesterday, the Reze arc. That was awesome. Very Chainsaw Man. Benji was insane, as usual. So I was definitely looking forward to it. I'm a little salty though. There's a lot of movies in the theaters right now that's like just remakes. Like, look at this. We got K-pop Demon Hunters, Twilight. Like, bruh, Twilight Breaking Dawn's been out for like, I don't know, 15 years. Oh yeah, I'm definitely bitten by the trading bug. What was it? I was 4 years ago. So one last thing on the movie bit there, though. I don't understand. Why would I pay extra money for to go to a theater to watch a movie I have in my DVD collection after I'm already seated in a theater? Money making. Anyway, I when I found trading, I was like, hell yeah. Let me learn how to do this. Can I retire by 50? Yeah. If I stay the course and just keep moving forward, hell yeah, I can retire by 50. So no, I'm not gonna let nobody or nothing, not even myself, which is the main thing, stop me from getting to where I want to be, which is drinking an ice cold beer on a nice beach, relaxing, running investments, just not being on the hamster wheel. Because we're on a hamster wheel. Best believe that. They teach us in school. What do they teach us? They teach us to get a job, work until retirement, and then basically die. And then after retirement is when you can live. I'm not interested in that scenario. So I'm gonna enjoy my life now, but also enjoy it to the point where I don't have to get up at a specific time unless I want to, unless I choose to. And that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. So I'm a little salty about all these silly movies that I can't watch because I've already seen K-pop Demon Hunter for free. Why the hell would I go to the theaters to go watch it again? Like, are we serious? So many of them. It's crazy. Like, what are we doing? I need America to do better. For real. Like, do better. Ooh, there's Back to the Future 40th anniversary in the theaters too. What? I bet you I can go to Walmart, go to the DVD section, and find a $5 DVD of Back to the Future I can watch at home. Actually, I probably already have that movie. But anyway. All right. Enough lollygagging. I think, part of my thing today was I wanted to backtest. I wanted to, you know, home in on what I've been doing and how to adjust it. And that's an ongoing process, straight up. Like, I review my trades every day, not just today on Sundays. I review it every day. And I journal and I talk through why I took that trade, why it might have failed, what I missed, that sort of thing. Because we're human, we're gonna miss things. Um, and I was agonizing over switching to trading the micros, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't do that in my head. I can't justify it in my head. Paying right now, I pay $7.30 for round trip for one mini. If I switch to micros, I'd be paying that $7.30 round trip for times however many micros I'm trading, and I don't think that's super worth it. Anyway, for now, I won't be trading tomorrow because I'll be at an office. I don't trade on Mondays anyway. So Tuesday, I have a dental appointment in the morning, so I don't know if I'll be back in time for the AM session for trading. So maybe it might be the PM that I get something in. So we'll see. It's supposedly non-farm payroll. Let me see. Week, but the government's still shut down, so it's probably not going to be non-farm payroll anything until they open back up. Because we skipped the last one, but this Friday's when it's supposed to be, but the government shut down. So if they don't figure their shit out, we're not gonna have no NFP Friday. What else? We got unemployment claims Thursday. Uh, yeah, most of this news will just go away. Jolt's job opening. Monday has ISM manufacturing PMI. I don't know who puts that out. I probably should check. Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for joining me all the time, Evan. I appreciate you. In life, go enjoy your weekend too. Thanks for always having my back in these, Bob and Wolfie. Wolfie popped on immediately and he was going to have dinner with his family. I wasn't expecting him, but he did pop on just to give me my first like. And I was like, yay, raise the roof. My trading buddies are the bomb. But anyway, so y'all enjoy this Sunday. I am going to close out and then go enjoy the rest of my Sunday, which I have a lot of left. And I'm gonna play with these kitties. I'm probably gonna go take this dog for a walk. Um, and go find something yummy to eat. Yeah, eat yummy food, y'all. Eat yummy food. All right, I'm out. Peace. Be safe. Trade your A+ setups this week, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Shakira.